Okay, I've got some pretty insane news for you. This could be the best video you watch today when it relates to XRP. Many people will tell you XRP is about to move. Well, guess what? I'm going to back it up with some receipts, give you a very bullish chart that you guys 100% need to see, because guess what? If you don't, you might just miss out on what's coming for XRP. So go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Remember, every day we're breaking down the latest crypto news, reviews, technical analysis, and all the hidden stuff you need that no one else is talking about right here on the 2-Bit Crypto channel. So with that being said, let's get into this bullish XRP video. So usually I start with a bit of news and I'll sort of double back on what we were talking about. But look at this, XRP at 220, analysts insist it's not too late to get in. I'm going to tell you why this absolutely could ring true. The fact that we are officially seeing XRP leaving exchanges is two things. One, very bullish in terms of long-term price activity. More importantly, it's simply running out. And I know people say too, but you can't make those crazy acquisitions. The fact of the matter is there is loads of it. But let me tell you, we have not seen this outflow of XRP from exchanges since we were at $2.80 back in February. Hang on to the end of this video, let me tell you. Now, there's a couple of reasons why. We have a pretty big launch coming on May 19th, the new CME XRP Futures. Again, we've talked about this a number of times on the channel. Lots of people bullish about this. Lots of people kind of excited about where this is going to go. And I guess kind of the first of the real institutional movement into a more traditional finance sector going live on May 19th. So you've got about a week and a bit to wait. We know that this could be very bullish and unlock the potential of these ETFs, which we were delayed by the SEC. Could XRP blow up on the price action? Probably not at this stage. But I think, again, it's just another little string to the bow that supports an uptrend in terms of XRP. The market's reacting. Daily XRP transactions are already up. In fact, topping $5.3 billion. And active wallet addresses, we touched on this before, over 600% increase from 74,500 up to say 460,000. This is bullish over the course of the last, certainly, year or so. So very optimistic in terms of how this plays out. I'm very optimistic in terms of where XRP is going to go. We're seeing increased whale movements, which again is important. You know, you've got all this kind of bullish catalyst. The market feels a little bit better. Everything's kind of coming together. Whales know what's going on. Long-term holders for Bitcoin staying strong. We now see the same applying to XRP. In fact, they've purchased over $2 billion worth of XRP in the last 30 days. And removed it from exchanges. This is the crazy bit that no one talks about, because that means they're in it for the long haul. We talk about this exactly the same on my Bitcoin update videos when we talk about, look, if it's leaving exchanges, people are custodying it in non-custodial wallets, getting off exchanges, they're in it for the long haul. And we know that to be the case. Major holders sold 370 million XRP in early April, which did, raise some concerns. The fact of the matter is, though, we saw a significantly less escrow unlock. And the reality, therefore, is we saw this kind of bullish momentum sit with XRP. And we've held up pretty well in the overall market volatility that we've seen, given the whole tariffs and all the rest of it. So look, Glassnode data did include that whales interpreted XRP's April recovery and early May downtrend as a signal to buy. Remember, they always say when everyone's fearful, you should be buying. And I think this is absolutely true. So when we kind of talk about this, I want to just double back on something. You have to bear with me while I just kind of get this set up. But there was something that launched a while back that, again, no one else seems to be talking about. In fact, we've kind of discussed this, or I've certainly seen it on some other people's channels where they're not giving it really what it deserves. So you may be thinking, what the hell is this 2-Bit? Well, this is the XRPH11. This is the Brazilian XRP ETF owned by Hashdex that was launched over about a week ago. It actually launched back here in April 25th. So it's been out a couple of weeks right now. So you can see here that this is generally a downtrend. We launched, we saw the initial spike, and then down we go. And people are saying, well, it's a failure. No one's bothered about XRP ETFs. Why are we even going to think about launching it and somewhere else? And lots of people probably getting a negative press. Well, what I think is interesting, and I think what a lot of people are failing to see is, well, guess what this is? This is the most successful Bitcoin ETF in the history of ETFs. In fact, surpassing gold and many others. This is the IBIT ETF. What do you notice here? Well, guess what? It did exactly the same before skyrocketing. And I think many people are writing these XRP ETFs off. It's in Brazil. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but we know that generally US markets are the ones that we want to get after. And I think what's really interesting is the two seem very similar. We saw a decline on ETFs when they launched for Bitcoin, and absolutely we're seeing a similar story with the Hashdex XRP ETF. But my view, get ready. I think when we start to see US institutional investment coming, we start to see some of these XRP ETFs for US consumers, I think we're going to see a very different story. In fact, I would argue I think we're going to see a very bullish momentum coming in for XRP and many others. Okay, I've held you on long enough. let's talk about one of the most bullish things I've seen recently, which is this chart here. Now, this is the exchange reserves. More specifically, this is Binance. What do we see? We're seeing a sharp decline in the holdings of XRP. Binance, well, it's going. People are buying this and they're buying it at record levels. What's super interesting on this chart, though, is you can see here back in February where we saw this massive spike up, barring the lowest we've seen the exchange volume for XRP ever, i.e. the holdings. That correlates very interestingly back here to where we were at $2.80, all-time high levels more or less for XRP. So we are heading in exactly the same direction. We see a price decline. We therefore see exchange decline as people buy the dip. Yes, we saw a spike back to the upside. This aligned to a dump in the market, which I think everyone's aware of. But look at this. We are absolutely starting to see now the exchange reserves, particularly on Binance, as well as many of the other exchanges, are in rapid decline. In fact, this is one of the most aggressive declines we've seen since back here in January 2024 when the market was pumping. So what does this tell us? In my opinion, we are on the verge of a big move once again for XRP. You correlate that directly to the chart here where we're holding against this downward sloping trend line and again bouncing off with some real solid volume and more importantly that MACD trending as well. So watch out. I think we are weeks away from another big move on XRP. I absolutely expect us to be retesting $3 if the market comes with us. We want to see $100,000, $103,000 Bitcoin, but I think XRP, in my opinion, looking at some of these charts and taking a look at some of the analysis, is ready for a major breakout. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. All of this, and let me know what you think. What do you do with your XRP? Is it on the XRPL? Is it in a decentralized wallet? Is it on an exchange? I'm dead curious, as I think this could really add some value to all the new people that will definitely be coming to XRP very soon. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as always, check out the links, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.